I was going for a walk when I heard footsteps behind me. Who else would be out here at this time of night? I thought to myself. I continued walking, trying to brush it off, thinking it might be my mind playing tricks, or maybe I was tired, but the further I would walk, the heavier the footsteps got. I knew my house was just another block away. I turned the corner walking onto my street when suddenly the footsteps stopped. It was just pure silence. I quickly ran up the steps to my house, panicked by the fact that the footsteps had followed me home, but out of nowhere stopped. I locked my front door and headed up the stairs. As I laid in bed, there was a soft creak in the house. I sat up, squinting at the darkness, but there was nothing there. I laid back down. The house was quiet. The silence in the house was unsettling. I got up out of bed and headed downstairs. As I was heading down, there was a breeze of cool air. When I got to the last step, my front door was wide open. I was about to close the door when I noticed something on the doormat. There was a note. All it said was, "Always look behind you." I like to travel a lot, mainly by car. I love to do it when I have extra free time. Sometimes I like to just explore my local area, around my state, or even go out of state. This happened to me in the summer of 2019. I live in Montana and figured I'd go travel to Wyoming, as it's nearby and isn't very far. I am a female in her 30s, if that helps anything. I plan to spend the weekend there. I left on a Friday evening. I began to drive. A lot of what I saw was nothing. No woods, no anything, just nothing at all, very flat land. I stopped at a gas station to get some snacks, refill my car, and go to the bathroom. I got in and out relatively quickly. I drove and the sun began to go down. I continued driving until I saw the familiar, red, glowing words that read, "Motel," well, more like MOL, as the rest of the letters had burned out. I pulled into the parking lot, examining the place. It looked run down. I then noticed the boards on the windows and doors, and also the large amount of graffiti. The place was definitely abandoned. I have always done some urban exploring on my trips, so I figured this was just another place to add to the list. I grabbed my flashlight, pocket knife, and my phone. I walked up to the reception office. Some windows were boarded, but some were also just broken. I walked inside. The room had stuff all over the floor, more graffiti, and that was kinda it. One thing noting was the staff-only room behind a locked door had a bad odor coming from it. When I approached it, the smell got so bad I couldn't go closer. I walked out of said office, now going to explore the other rooms. A lot of them were boarded up, so all I could do was look inside. Not really much of interest was inside of them. Just old motel rooms. I noticed the place had an old pool with a small amount of dirty-looking water inside of it. I continued, now going on to the upstairs level. Up here, about 3 rooms were open. I had noticed. I was walking when I thought I heard a bang. Not a gun, like something heavy hitting the wooden floor. I figured something had fallen in one of the rooms, but moved onwards. As I was exploring the second open room, I realized the fact that someone, or something, would have had to make whatever that was, fall. This got my interest piqued. I walked towards the third room. It was the last room down, where I had thought I heard whatever that heavy item was fall. I tried to push the door open, but it didn't open. It must have been locked. I then walked over to the open window. It was open, but the blinds were down, blowing slightly in the wind. I shone my flashlight inside. I regret doing that. Inside, I saw a woman on the bed. I shone my light on her, seeing blood from her neck first and all over her body. I screamed in horror. I then felt a hand grab my ankle from behind me. The figure pulled me down, dragging me down the stairs. I kicked and screamed, noticing it was a man due to the stature. He stunk as well. I then remembered I had a pocket knife on me. I took that out and stabbed him in the leg. He screamed, gripping harder. He then took out a knife of his own, stabbing me in my ankle. I then stabbed him back, multiple times. Finally, he let go. I got up and ran towards my car. I tried starting my car. The car would not start. I had no other choice but to run. I flashed my light towards the car as I got out, spotting the man. He had a dirty and blood-stained gray hoodie on, dirty jeans, sneakers, and had the hookup. He also wore a creepy clown mask over his face. I now ran down past the motel, along the side of the road. I ran for what felt like hours, but probably only like 15 minutes. That's the last thing I remember. I recall after that waking up in a hospital bed. Apparently, they said someone found me on the side of the road, passed out. Nothing I had was stolen. I told the police everything about the motel, the man, and my car. To this day, this is the part that haunts me the most. The police were unable to find my car, or the motel, and also the man. It's just like all three things vanished out of existence that night. The police figured my car got stolen by the man, but that doesn't explain the motel vanishing. They searched high and low, through the whole state, and found nothing. Some cops thought I had hallucinated the whole thing, but that doesn't explain the stab wound in my leg. Others just didn't know what to think. I have multiple theories. One is that whatever I saw that night was something supernatural. The other theory I have is that a glitch in reality occurred and everything vanished. Other than that, I have no idea what happened that night. I have since moved on from that incident, as it was nearly 4 years ago now. I had gotten therapy, but even the therapists weren't able to explain the disappearance of the things. This horrible experience ruined my love for traveling and urban exploring. I will also never go near a motel again. The scariest part to me is what would have happened if the man caught me, or what was inside of the staff-only room in the office. It's a warm, humid night. I have my fan on to cool down and my earbuds in for music. I live in a 2-story house. My room's on the 2nd story, so I have a good view of the town I live in. I'm laying in bed vibing out to Foo Fighters when I hear a knock. I'm thinking it's my dad or mom at the door, so I take out my earbuds and head over to the door. Nothing. Nobody's there. I assume it's one of my siblings playing a prank on me, so I just roll my eyes and head back to my bed to lay down and put my earbuds back in. That's when I hear it again. 2 knocks this time instead the singular one before. Except this time it kinda sounded like it wasn't coming from the door. I couldn't completely tell though, as my music was a little loud. I take out my earbuds and head towards the door. Again, nobody. I decided to walk out my room, expecting to see my little brother around a corner or hiding somewhere, but I couldn't see anyone. I decided that I'll shut my door and wait by it and open it when I hear it again and scare my little brother when he knocks. When I close my door not much longer, I hear the knocking again, this time behind me. At my window. I glance over in horror. My curtains blocked the view from outside. I was scared, but I was old enough where I shouldn't be getting scared of things like this. Decided to man up. I'll move the curtains out the way and confront the branch or whatever it was making this knocking sound. I walk over towards my window and remove the curtains. Nothing. My brain is malfunctioning. I'm confused. The knocking sounded like it was coming from the window. It's easy to tell the difference between wood and glass knocking, so whatever's knocking should be here. I back off, no clue of what my next move is. Maybe a woodpecker was at my window. I don't know. I just needed something to make me feel better. I decided to leave the curtain off and go back to my bed, this time without music, just my thoughts and my phones to get me through what was going on. It took 5 minutes for me to stop thinking about what just happened. I was just frightened and made up stuff in my head to make me scared. That's what it was. It had to be. I glance back over at my window and a silhouette of something is outside. I freeze in place and hope that our eyes didn't meet. I pretend as to not notice whatever it was outside. I'll make a dash for it. No, I'll pretend like I'm going to the bathroom or something and walk out my room. Too late. Knock, 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 it knew. It had to have known I saw it. Why else would it knock right when I look over? I'm fucked. I look over right as I stand up and I meet its gaze. A streetlight outside is on and whatever it was closer now. I can make out its devilish grin and its pale appearance. Its dry skin and long greasy hair. Whatever it was definitely never cared for its hygiene. I run out my room screaming, heading towards the stairs. I hope to God my parents aren't working their night shift, and just in case they are, I'll call the cops and hide. I'll have to get to my brother's before anything though. Make sure he's safe and hide him before anything. I hear nothing coming from my parents' room. A quick glance outside the front window of the house and the cars are both gone. I head to my brother's room, reaching for my phone to call 911. I don't have my phone on me though. In the heat of the moment, I forgot it. I had to make a decision: go to my brother's room and try and hide him before that thing may try to break in, or grab my phone so we have a chance of escaping this thing if it decides to break. I hear back up to the stairs, ready to fight this thing if it made its way through my window. When I get to my room, everything is the same. I grab my phone and make haste down the stairs again. Towards my brother's room, 911 already dialed in my phone. I open his door, and nothing at all. The light's on. The bed is empty. And the window is open.